Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Cave Valley flooded from heavy rain. Heavy rain, which has been affecting various parishes over the past 24 hours, has left Cave Valley in southwest St. Anne flooded. Residents have been unable to leave their homes, and motorists have been forced to use alternative routes since Thursday afternoon. A few shops are now covered by water, according to Sharona Johnson, who lives in the area. Her business place, a hair salon, is among the structures which are immersed. My shop is covered underwater. Luckily, I got to take my stuff out because I know that area would flood and my shop is always the first to be underwater, she reported. The 25-year-old says she is worried about life after the flood, as it will be a struggle for her to resurface from the damage. It's a plyboard shop, but I don't have any money to rebuild a shop, and this is going to be a struggle for me, she stated. The flood-prone area, Johnson revealed, has destroyed her shop on several occasions over the past 3 years. She is calling on the relevant authorities to take action. They should broaden the riverbeds where the water would flow easily without having to enter the town area, so we won't have to go through this all the time, she said.
Look how we are coming on and also we have to keep shouting. So this is the road to Cave Valley, understand people? No vehicle can pass right at all. Patrol.
Fire Brigade says protesting drivers broke away from union do not represent general sentiment. The Jamaica Fire Brigade, JFB, has dismissed a protest by contract drivers at its headquarters Thursday, saying the demonstration did not represent the sentiment of the majority of that group of workers. In a statement Friday, the JFB sought to clarify the circumstances around the protests, stating that the demonstrators represented a fracture of drivers who broke away from the National Workers Union NWU, which has bargaining rights for them. The protesting drivers had alleged the poor treatment and wages and discrepancies with their contracts, demanding urgent attention from the JFB and the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development to have their issues resolved. However, Commissioner of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Stuart Beckford, said the demonstrators, who had stated that they are represented by the Jamaica Civil Service Association, are trying to enter into the far advanced negotiations between the JFB and the NWU, which represents the vast majority of the drivers, technicians and bodymen who work for the organization. The NWU won bargaining rights in 2014, and the negotiations in which we are presently engaged really intensified in the last financial year. We have a cordial relationship with the union's leader, and we have made good progress regarding the items in their statement of claim, and I am certain that we will be able to sign off heads of agreements with the NWU very shortly. What has happened is that these contract drivers who protested yesterday were originally represented by the NWU. For whatever reason, they decided to terminate their membership in that union, which is the one that has bargaining rights for them. They decided to join the Jamaica Civil Service Association, which has tried to convince us that they should not be given a place at the bargaining table along with the NWU to represent these workers' interests. This cannot be done as the JCSA has no bargaining rights and indeed has not even served a claim on the Jamaica Fire Brigade. The sentiments that were expressed in this protest yesterday are therefore simply not true. It is the National Workers' Union that represents this category of workers. The small number of contract drivers who protested yesterday are the ones who broke away from the NWU, Beckford explained. He added that the Jamaica Fire Brigade is always sensitive to the needs and interests of its employees. In this regard, in relation to our contract drivers and related contract workers, I reiterate that we are very close to concluding our negotiations with the National Workers' Union, and we look forward to signing an agreement in very short order. The Commissioner said the protest action did not affect its operations across the island. Very tired, Fraser Price out of Paris Diamond League race. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price will miss Saturday's 100-meter race at the Diamond League meeting in Paris, organizers announced on Friday. The 34-year-old Olympic 100-meter champion in 2008 and 2009 exacted revenge on rival and fellow Jamaican Elaine Thompson-Herro for defeat in the Tokyo Games final, with victory in Thursday's race in Switzerland. Fraser-Price clocked 10.60 seconds, the third fastest time in history, slower than only Thompson-Herro and world record holder Florence Griffiths Jr. Thompson-Herro, who claimed 3 gold medals in Japan to add to the 100-meter and 200-meter double she won at the Rio Olympics, ran 10.54 seconds in Eugene earlier this month. Overwhelmed with COVID patients, public hospitals only accepting emergency cases. Effective immediately, public hospitals island-wide will be restricted to conducting emergency case services only, according to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This comes as the public health facilities register continued increases in confirmed and suspected cases of COVID-19 infections that require hospitalization, which have caused the facility to exceed their isolation capacity. Commenting on the crisis in a statement from the ministry, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisosa Mackenzie stated, "Most hospitals are over the capacity of beds designated for COVID-19 management. As such, general hospital beds are being used for COVID-19 care. The rising demand for oxygen also threatens to overwhelm the supply." The ministry said hospitals will also suspend elective surgeries and begin discharging patients who can receive home care. Meanwhile, members of the public are being asked to refrain from visiting emergency departments except in cases warranting serious medical attention. We encourage persons to be compliant with their medications and to avoid being on the roads to avoid traffic accidents, as hospitals will be constrained to deal with these kinds of emergencies, the CMO continued. Up to Thursday, August 26, a record 739 positive COVID-19 cases were in hospital, of which 189 were moderate to ill, 92 severely ill, and 61 critically ill. There were another 320 patients suspected to have COVID-19 under hospital care. The ministry continues to encourage Jamaicans to get vaccinated and follow keenly the infection prevention and control measures. 605 new COVID cases recorded in Jamaica, 12 deaths. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is reporting that 605 new COVID-19 cases and 12 virus-related deaths were recorded across Jamaica on Thursday. This pushed the total number of confirmed cases on the island since the outbreak to 64,899 and the confirmed deaths to 1,465. The new cases comprised of 339 females and 260 males, with ages ranging from 6 days to 100 years. According to the ministry, 159 of the cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, 94 in St. Catherine, 59 in St. James, 49 in Westmoreland, 43 in St. Anne, 40 in St. Thomas, 34 each in Manchester and Trelawney, 32 in St. Elizabeth, 25 in St. Mary, 18 in Hanover, 13 in Clarendon, and 5 in Portland. Meanwhile, 8 of the latest deaths are from St. Elizabeth, including 5 males ages 41, 56, 74, 75, and 76, and 3 females ages 64, 66, and 78. 3 of the victims were from Westmoreland, a 31-year-old female, a 58-year-old male, and a 77-year-old male. The remaining victim was a 48-year-old female from Kingston and St. Andrew. 13 deaths were also reported under investigation. The ministry further reported 50 new recoveries, which pushed the total recoveries to 47,968. There are 15,058 active cases on the island. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.